Trump seems to be on the rampage per usual, laying off and scaling back government spending, including mass layoffs of federal workers.
Thousands of federal workers have been laid off since President Donald Trump took office. Today, some took the time they would have spent on the job to come here to the state capitol and actively work against the administration's policies.
We are the thunder of a growing storm.
Dramatic words set the tone for today's protest on the south steps of the Texas Capitol. Many say it's time to fight back against what they call the dismantling of the federal government.
We all seen it in the headlines. We all see it on the news. Some people are for it. Some people are against it. Some people is political motivated. Some people saying it should have happened anyway. We spend too much money, national debt. I've heard every side of the equation, so let's talk about it.
So I got laid off today. Okay, let me be serious. So my role was one of the thousands of roles that were directly impacted by the federal budget cuts. I think the thing that makes this harder than it normally is that I can't comfort myself by being like, oh, it's just a job, because it's not. Like, it's truly a symptom of a larger problem of what's happening in this country. Like, everyone is going to be affected. Unless you're a straight white man that's like in the top 1% of income, like, you're going to be affected. And it doesn't feel like there's anywhere left to go. Even if I do find a job, like, what am I working towards? Like, what? Like, why am I working for this country? Like, why am I doing work for this country? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there are any safe spaces left to go to, for lack of a better term. Like, there's nowhere to really, like, go. It just feels like it's such a, like, absolute destruction. And what makes it worse is that I'm one of the lucky ones. Like, I'm fortunate enough to have a family that would support me, but there's gonna be so many people who are on the streets or worse because of direct impacts or indirect impacts, like whatever it may be. But it's just like, how am I one of the lucky ones when it sucks so badly already? I just don't know. Let me know if you guys have any tips on like how you're staying motivated in the midst of all this, because I truly am just...
So I want to set this video up in order to hear from the individuals getting laid off. We know the job market is tough as it is in the private sector, average everyday people trying to find and sustain jobs. And that's been a challenge for a lot of people, regardless of what the unemployment numbers are saying. What does that look like when you add federal workers on top of that?
So, like, all jokes aside, everybody that's a federal employee that's getting laid off, where y'all applying to? Like, I'm just putting this out there right now, y'all. Like, I'm a federal government employee. And today, they was literally changing people's schedule. So, like, my schedule is 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So, say, for instance, you work that schedule. They'll come to you and tell you, oh, now you schedule to start coming in at, like, 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and working past the time you usually work. You know, people asking them, like, why y'all doing this? Why y'all doing that? They talking about, oh, due to the new changes. And I just feel it in my spirit, like, the layoffs is coming next. And y'all, I already just feel it in my spirit, like, I'm just in that lineup of the cutoffs. And the reason I'm saying that, y'all, is because I'm new to the job. I'm new to the company in this state. So technically, you know, they could really lay me off. It's not funny, but it's like, it's crazy. Like, I could just hear them coming up to me like, Miss Speed, today gonna be your last day. And I'm just trying to already beat them to the punch before they lay me off. Like, I'm trying to have a job already in placement, already lined up. I have been laid off before from the company that I work for. And to be honest, it didn't affect me. By the grace of God, y'all, I actually went into like a fast prayer and like was reading my Bible every day. I was laid off for a good month, y'all. No pay, no nothing. And when I tell y'all I didn't lack nothing, Nathaniel, nothing. So I feel like with them already like laying me off before, I feel like it's gonna be another layoff. And I mean, I'm cool with that if that's what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Not to even mention, last time they laid me off, y'all, they had to go back and back pay me for every day that they had laid me off for. But I just made this video because I just got that little eerie feeling in my stomach, like, you next. It's not funny, but it's a nervous laugh.
What is it like for federal workers? A lot of them are well educated. They spend a lot of time in these federal positions, and now they got to try to find a new job, and that's more than likely going to be in the private sector. So what is their experience? What is the experience like for those everyday individuals dealing with this circumstance from the federal layoffs?
These federal layoffs, these federal jobs, and these people losing their jobs, this is about to make the job market very competitive. Think about it. We had the Great Migration with all of the Black people leaving the South to go north. I feel like it's about to be another sort of migration, and that's from the DC, Virginia area. And I hate talking politics, but I think this is politics. But or just the economy in general. All of these people losing their jobs, what about their mortgages? What about like the small business owners like daycares losing businesses? Not to mention how the funding for daycares and things like that are all out of whack because of, the Musk guy. But anywho, back to the federal employees. These federal employees, they need to find work. In the DC, Virginia area, all of these people losing their job in the same area, will that area be able to facilitate all of these new people looking for work? The job market is about to be competitive. These federal workers are smart, educated, some of them have really long job history, and they're out here applying for these jobs. It's going to be hard for the regular people that's already looking for jobs. So the market for jobs is about to be tight, or all of these people going to go to the same state, or they going to the same area, or all the work from home jobs about to be occupied. There's so many questions and so many things that everyday people are not thinking about. You have to consider all of these factors with these massive federal layoffs.
Regardless of all the experience that they had in their field and all the things that they've been doing, government jobs used to be one of the most stable positions you can have. And they built lives, bought houses and mortgages, and they got all the same bills as everybody else. So for them now to come into the private sector to deal with some of the same issues as we're dealing with, gotta be kind of difficult, right? Just regardless if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, it gotta be difficult in that position, no matter who you are. Either way, put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Marcus Reacts. Talk to you soon.